Good morning, and please be seated. Members of the class of 2019, faculty and staff, distinguished guests, families, and friends of the university, welcome to the 164th commencement ceremony for the Washington and Lee School of Law. We're gathered this morning to celebrate the achievements of our graduates and to share their excitement about the future that awaits them. This ceremony marks the beginning of a new chapter in the life of each graduate, and just as surely it marks the ending of another. You've spent 3 years together in this beautiful place. It's shaped you as individuals and as a class. Together you've studied, argued, and developed the habits of mind that characterize good lawyers. You've made lasting friendships that will give you pleasure and support you wherever you may go. And before you go to travel your many different paths, it's important this morning to savor your final moments here together under the blue sky on this historic campus that has been your shared home. Our law school, your law school, is the 16th oldest in the United States. Its origins reflect the long and lasting connections between the university and the community in which we live. Lexington Law School was founded in 1849 by Judge John Brockenbrough, a local lawyer and federal judge. He became a trustee of Washington College in 1852 and became the rector who hired Robert E. Lee as the president in 1865. Brockenbrough and Lee incorporated the law school into Washington College, an innovation that distinguishes us today from other small liberal arts colleges. Brockenbrough served as the inaugural dean before resigning over a salary dispute in 1873. Some things never change. Today, one of Judge Brockenbrough's direct descendants, Jason Brockenbrough, is a police officer next door at VMI, and his wife, Jamie, cuts my hair on Main Street. It's a small town, and relationships run deep. For most of its long history, the law school was located here on the Colonnade, which was not only the heart of campus, it was the entire campus in the 19th century. Tucker Hall, over your left shoulders, named for John Tucker, who served as Attorney General of Virginia and a United States Congressman before becoming Dean of our law school in 1893, was home to the law school from 1900 to 1976. If you haven't yet taken the opportunity, I encourage you to visit the beautifully restored two-story law library in which one Supreme Court justice, several American Bar Association presidents, and many other distinguished alumni received their legal education. The law school crossed the ravine to Lewis Hall in 1977, and in doing so was at the forefront of the university's 20th century expansion. The undergraduates have followed your lead across Woods Creek, making the law school once again geographically central, reflecting its historic and contemporary significance to Washington and Lee. Our strategic plan commits us to raising additional scholarships to attract and support the most capable law students from all backgrounds, and to deepening the connections between legal and undergraduate education at W&L. This fall, we begin offering a minor in law, justice, and society, an interdisciplinary collaboration that will be taught by faculty in the law school, the School of Commerce, Economics, and Politics, and the College of Arts and Sciences. The tradition of excellence at Washington and Lee Law School stretches backward more than 150 years, but it also aspires ever forward in keeping with our motto, non incautus futuri, not unmindful of the future. You have all benefited from this tradition, and you will all contribute to this tradition throughout the course of your careers. Take W&L, the people, the place, the lessons you have learned with you into the world, and you and the world will be better for it. I congratulate you, and I now call upon Dean Brant Hellwig to continue the ceremony.
Thank you very much, President Dudley. What a fantastic day to be in this majestic setting on a beautiful Lexington morning to celebrate a significant milestone in the lives of our students, soon to be our graduates. It is a joy and privilege to be a part of it. One of my favorite aspects of commencement is the palpable sense of pride that permeates this ceremony. Justifiable pride that you have in your own accomplishments, pride that you have in the accomplishments of your classmates, and pride that your friends and family, many of whom we are fortunate to have with us today, have in you. The members of the law school faculty, administration, and staff, we all feel the same way. We are proud of you, and we are fortunate to share in this joyous occasion. To the class of 2019, I have just a few words. First, congratulations. Congratulations on making it through 3 grinding years of study. Through the first year of law school, when everything was exciting, new, at times terrifying, but also fun. Through that second year, when you quickly assumed veteran status, right, and wondered why you ever got so worked up about over being called on in class. That second year, when you became so overloaded with journals, moot court competitions, student groups, and job search activities that you couldn't believe you ever actually thought you were busy before then. And through the third year, when you started transitioning to the practice of law through your participation in immersion, clinics, externships, and practicum courses, when you stepped out of the classroom setting and started to test out your role as an advocate and counselor. Throughout your time here, you had opportunities to push your individual limits, to discover skills that you may not have known you had, and to develop your identity as a legal professional. It is no small feat to navigate the demands and pressures of law school, but you have. Nice job, excellent work, and congratulations on getting to this point. The second message I have for you is almost as straightforward. Thank you. To start, thank you for being a critical part of the community that exists at W&L Law. There are several factors that make our law school unique, and when asked what those are, the one I'm quick to highlight is the overall character of our student body. In addition to coming to law school with a mix of professional ambition, intellectual curiosity, and a desire to affect the communities and society in which we live, our student body, and your class in particular, possesses a number of traits that have helped shape the environment in Lewis Hall. I and my colleagues on the faculty and staff appreciate the level of support, care, and empathy you have shown for one another. Additionally, your overall good humor has made our school a more positive place. We will miss you when you're gone, and thankfully, many of you will stick around to prepare for the bar examination, easing the transition a bit for those of us who remain. For this class in particular, I'd like to thank you for pushing us to be a better version of ourselves. We have spent considerable energy as an institution in recent years not only examining our history, but importantly, our present and future communities. Many of you have highlighted ways that we can improve, not necessarily for yourself, but most often for the benefit of those who will come behind you. While those conversations are not always easy, they have been productive, and importantly, our school is better off for them. Thank you. Thank you for your contributions you've made to the intellectual life of our school, for your probative questions in class, for your intriguing conversations in the halls and in our offices, for your dedicated work on student journals and moot court competitions, and importantly, for the work you've undertaken on behalf of actual clients. Thank you for representing us to external audiences in a manner that reflected well on you, on our law school, and on our university more broadly. Lastly, on behalf of the faculty, thank you for letting us be a part of your development as a legal professional. We hope that we've contributed to your future and personal success, and I can say with certainty that our interactions with you over the past 3 years have been both personally and professionally rewarding for us. I'd like to conclude my remarks by highlighting one aspect of the law school's mission statement. Our mission statement opens with the following: the Washington and Lee University School of Law seeks to cultivate broad-minded, highly skilled, and honorable practitioners of law. Let me pause for a minute to stress that last adjective, our goal for you to be honorable practitioners of law. Certainly, honor is a part of the fabric of the law school and the university. But importantly, and I'd say thankfully, it does not end when you leave Lewis Hall or when you receive your diploma in just a few minutes. Rather, that really is just the beginning. Regardless of the career path you pursue, conducting yourself in an honorable manner is pivotal to having an enjoyable and meaningful career. Honor certainly encompasses individual characteristics such as integrity, truthfulness, trustworthiness, and these attributes are central to the legal profession you are on the cusp of entering. These values simply cannot yield in the face of pressures to zealously advance the interest of your client or even at a more practical level to satisfy the demands of your boss. Your internal code of ethical and professional conduct, that's an asset that you create. Right? There's not many assets that we can create out of whole cloth, but that's one. And while maintaining high professional standards will likely lead to a more accomplished career over the long term, perhaps the greatest benefit from doing so is subjective, measured in the personal satisfaction that you will take from practicing law in a laudable manner, even if no one ever actually lauds you for it. But there's a separate aspect of honor I'd like to highlight. While honorable conduct is in many ways inwardly focused, honor also has a relational aspect to it. If we think about what makes an honorable practitioner of law, it's hard to imagine achieving that characterization or that status without regard to how one treats others. Regarding this relational aspect of honor, there's some attributes that come to mind. Treating others with respect and dignity, regardless of their station in the profession or their station in society more broadly. Being open to not only hearing, but actually considering opposing views. Having empathy for those who are less fortunate and looking for ways to contribute to the success of others. These are all aspects of being an honorable professional that come to my mind, and I'm sure you could come up with many more. But thankfully, these are all attributes that we have seen on full display from members of your class over the recent years. And I simply encourage you to intentionally pursue them in your own career. These attributes help us promote a W&L law brand in the legal profession, a brand from which we all benefit, and a brand I hope and trust you will contribute to in the years ahead. So let me close where I started. Congratulations on all that you've accomplished, and best wishes to you as you start the next exciting chapter of your life. We hope that your education and overall experience here will serve you well, and we also hope that you will continue to be an integral part of the Washington and Lee law community down the road. Thank you very much. I now ask the members of the law class of 2019 to rise. President Dudley, I have the honor to present 110 candidates for the Juris Doctor degree. They have been examined by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees. They are to be congratulated on their command of the ways by which justice is attained and commended for their exceptional learning to the advancement of a just social order. I ask you by your official act to confer upon them their degrees.
Upon the recommendation of the faculty and approval by the Board of Trustees, I hereby confer the degree of Juris Doctor of Washington and Lee University. Please come forward to receive the diploma as your names are called. I ask the audience to hold its applause until the last graduate has received the diploma.
Rodolfo A. Alatriste Peña. Paige Elizabeth Edith Avery. Bethany Ann Barrett. Matthew Joseph Bass. Catherine Frances Beaver. Quentin Abraham Stephen Becker. Catherine Mary Bennett. Lauren Elizabeth Bennett. Nicholas Anthony Betts. Robert Matthew Black. Cole Thomas Bowman. Lauren Nicole Bond. Clayton Nash Bowen. Cody Matthew Bowen. Frank Nicholas Bozzi. Kara Lee Brown. Hugh Hagan Brown. Michael Shane Brown. Daniel Vincent Carlisle. William Richard Carpenter. Lauren Renee Cassell. Douglas Robert Chapman. Matthew Philip Alavizatos Chris. James Travers Clark. Chase Tyler Cobb. Zachary Tate Crawford Pachucas. Isaac Zachary Livingston Cronk. John Thomas Crowley. Michael Robert Cruz. Kelly Ann Cunningham. Michael Thomas DiBaggio. Caroline Eugenie Deemer. Timur Ryan DeKetch. Madeline Maury Downing. Joseph Gregory Duchesne. Shelby Marie Emore. Stephanie Christine Evans. Claudia Pauline Fass. Tiffany Emily Feller. Jacqueline Marie Fitch. Madison Claire Flowers. Maya Harkness Jinga. Diane McDonald Grimion. Mary Nobles Hancock. Patrick Daniel Hanlon. Sally Elise Harper. Caden William Hayes. Christopher Andrew Henry. Kirsten Elizabeth Holmes. Spence McKay Howden. Christina Hubbard. Keela Orion Hughes Knowles. Dorothea Anna Illy. Joseph Benjamin Eisenberg. William Perez Jenkins. Jacqueline Marie Keenan. Bruce Julian Kennedy II. Edward Broughton Kerr. Brandon Jesse Koenig. Michael Walter Lair. Elise Nicole Layton. Leslie Mae Lewis. Elizabeth Kathleen Lilienthal. Peter Kirillovich Lukin. Douglas Paul Malafont. Ian Joseph McElhaney. Catherine Ann McLaughlin. Kokomo Kellen Metzger. Charles Jordan Miller. Severn Allnut Miller. Nelson Andrew Morgan. Benton Thomas Morton. Andrew Teddy Mossman. Kristen Leanne Mines. Alexis Taylor Narducci. Carol Bennett Neal. Tin Dang Gwen. Shara Nicole Nemorowski. Armand G. Niku. Danielle Joan Novelli. Elizabeth Lee Nugent. Michaela Claire Owens. Gabriella Ann Pasidomo. In absentia, Babak K. Persis. Caitlin Ventry Marie Peterson. Danielle Alexandra Phillips. Brandon Paul Reeves. Pierce Edward Rigney. Jacob Hunter Robertson. Angelique Udico Rogers. Danielle Marina San Roman. Alex Walshof. Alexa Ray Shockley Campbell. Alec Allen Wentz Smith. Jefferson Grant Spears. Skylar Anna Speed. Garner Madeline Stapp. Michael David Stinnett Kassoff. Rebecca Caroline Stogner. Andrew R. Stover. Timothy Paul Strother. Sarah Ann Telly. Mallory Elizabeth Thielen. Jonathan David Thompson. Gerald Allen Urbanik, Jr. Carl Warren Warcholik. Robert Louis Wilson III. Courtney Ray Wolf. Xiaochen Yu. Yuanqing Zhu. Please join me in congratulating the law class of 2019.
Congratulations to the class of 2019. We come now to the point in the program when we recognize an outstanding individual whose life we hold up to you as an example, whose record of achievement and personal character exemplify this institution's highest ideals. Today, we bestow an honorary doctorate on Mr. Bryan Stevenson, who has also graciously agreed to deliver our commencement address. Will the University Registrar please escort Bryan Stevenson to the front of the podium? I now recognize Dean Helwig, who will read the honorary degree citation.
Bryan Stevenson, distinguished jurist, acclaimed teacher, crusader for justice. You've been dubbed America's young Nelson Mandela by Archbishop Desmond Tutu, who has described you as being on a mission to guarantee justice for all. Born in segregated rural Delaware as the great-grandson of slaves, you were only 16 when your 86-year-old grandfather was murdered by juveniles during a robbery. You have said that in addition to being traumatic and disorienting, that event taught you the importance of responding to the conditions of hopelessness and despair that create crime. Your own life's work has been just such a response as you have fought tirelessly for the poor, the incarcerated, and the condemned. After receiving the Bachelor of Arts with majors in history and political science from Eastern College in Pennsylvania, you earned the Juris Doctorate degree from Harvard Law School and a Master in Public Policy from Harvard's Kennedy School of Government in 1985, and then embarked on your career as a public interest lawyer with the Southern Center for Human Rights in Atlanta. 4 years later, you founded the Equal Justice Initiative in Montgomery, Alabama, to focus on social justice and human and legal rights for the most vulnerable among us. You serve to this day as EGI's executive director, and under your leadership, the nonprofit has won numerous battles on behalf of people who were denied fair treatment in the legal system, including saving the lives of 125 death row prisoners who were wrongly condemned. You directed the expansion of EGI that began with establishing memorials to lynchings in Alabama and has led to the creation of the Legacy Museum and the National Memorial for Peace and Justice, which are dedicated to the legacy of enslaved Black people, people terrorized by lynching, African Americans humiliated by racial segregation and Jim Crow, and people of color burdened with contemporary presumptions of guilt and police violence. In addition to successfully arguing several cases before the Supreme Court, you won the historic ruling that mandatory life without parole sentences for children 17 or younger are unconstitutional. You spent 16 years fighting to free one death row inmate who had spent 3 decades in jail before you were able to exonerate him. A professor of clinical law at the New York University School of Law, you've taught your students to consider the legal needs of the least privileged and to recognize within the criminal justice system, and to recognize bias within the criminal justice system. NYU has recognized your service with a Distinguished Teaching Award. The long and growing list of awards bestowed upon you for your work includes the prestigious MacArthur Foundation Genius Award, the ACLU National Medal of Liberty, the ABA's John Minor Public Service and Professionalism Award, the Public Interest Lawyer of the Year Award by the National Association of Public Interest Lawyers, and Sweden's Olof Palme Prize for International Human Rights. Your 2014 memoir, Just Mercy, A Story of Justice and Redemption, a poignant and searing account of your own experiences, has won critical praise and has earned a Carnegie Medal from the American Library Association, as well as an NAACP Image Award. Bryan Stevenson, courageous champion for the disadvantaged, extraordinary advocate for human rights, powerful voice for the voiceless. Your commitment to public service serves as a model for us all, and we are honored to bestow upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees, I pronounce you Doctor of Laws of Washington and Lee University. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I'd like to call Kirsten Holmes and Lauren Vaughn to present a walking stick to Mr. Stevenson. Thank you very much.
I want to thank you so much, Mr. Stevenson, for your inspiring words and the incredible work you've done to reform the criminal justice system in our nation. You've touched the lives of so many people, and today we want to thank you for touching the Washington and Lee law community. I went in depth yesterday about the history of the walking sticks, but for your reference, the walking sticks is bestowed upon 3L students as a symbol of the honor and respect the legal community gives them. And so today, on behalf of the class of 2019, we want to present you with your very own walking stick.
Thank you so much.
Before I yield the podium back to President Dudley, to conclude our ceremony, there are a few people who are retiring from Washington and Lee Law this year that I'd like to recognize. After I call your name, would you please stand? And I ask everyone to join me in a round of applause after all are named. Lyman Johnson, the Robert O. Bentley Professor of Law, who joined the law school faculty in 1985. Darlene Irvin, Administrative Assistant in the Law School Admissions Office, who joined W&L in 1987. And Tommy Williams, Manager of Law School Classroom Technologies, who originally joined the Law Library in 1978. Please join me in giving a round of applause. Thank you very much for your service. President Dudley.
We now bring these exercises to their fitting conclusion by expressing our gratitude to all those who've made this day possible. On behalf of the graduates, we thank the faculty who've prepared you to begin your careers. We thank the alumni whose generosity has supported your education. We thank the university staff whose performance of their duties has benefited you in so many ways. And we thank your families who've made it possible for you to be here. In closing, I encourage our graduates to reflect upon what it means to enter the noble profession that is the practice of law. Each of you has the opportunity to do good and important work. Make W&L proud. Come back often to Lexington, where you will always be welcome. We will always be eager to hear how your lives and your careers unfold. I hope that all of you will join us for lunch on Cannon Green, prepared by our wonderful catering staff. I wish you all the very best. This concludes the commencement ceremony. We are adjourned.